Roger Heier, part of Heier Ranch, my brother, which I thought he was coming. I guess he's not. We farm together, ranch together. Said we've been doing cover crops for 7-8 years now. This was the first field we started on way back when. It was a failed wheat that we drilled very similar mix in, and we fenced it up. By no means were we using poly braid or anything like that. It was just steel wire. I sectioned it off in 3 places. It sort of worked. I mean, they got good grazing out of it. It was kind of a dry year that first year. The next spring, if anybody from this area remembers that rain that started in Plainville and then backed up towards us, we had 580 that one afternoon. This field, terraces didn't wash out. We didn't have water standing. I mean, it's just kind of like, okay, it's not supposed to work that quickly to one cover crop, and we didn't have anything wash out. My brother was planting this field of milo at the time, and then we did other stuff that was just wheat stubble, and we had terraces washed out from that same rain. I was like, that was our first aha moment. There's been a few others since then that I can identify, but it's just, that was kind of neat. So this field has a sorghum sudan, sunflower, sun hemp, cowpea, missing something, maybe mung bean. That's kind of our go-to mix for summer grazing and a lot of the times winter stockpile grazing. This field has a lot of windmill grass in it. It still does, but the cows are eating some of it. We just turned cows in here on Sunday. They were grazing our CRP because that was our management practice for the CRP, was to graze it. So we got like 3 or 4 days with 80 pairs on 22 acres of CRP. I thought it would last a little longer than that, but it didn't. But it's by far, for me, that was better than burning it or taking a disc and working it, which makes no sense to me. But so at least we got some grazing out of it, and they knocked it down pretty good, so I was happy, and turned them in here Sunday. So you can see what they've done. The last 4 or 5 years, we've really tried to test everything before we plant cash crop. So we know where we're at on fertility, and the last 2 years we've really scaled back our nitrogen up front ahead of cash crops. We're basically 28 to 35 pounds is what we're putting on for corn and milo. Last year we did that with Wholeganics and the Saw You Grow from Bryce, and said we had 91 bushel corn off basically 40 pounds of nitrogen. We had corn in here that last year, it wasn't nearly that good. It made like 65 off the same program, but this field was definitely drier than that one, which was south of Gove. South of Gove last year was kind of a sweet spot for rain. This one wasn't. But even at 65 bushel corn, I said I was disappointed. At the same time, I was happy with it because we didn't have $150 into it, really. And 65 bushel at, I don't know what was corn last year, 5. Yeah. So we still had a pretty decent profit on this, which is, Bryce has helped me along that way, and I said I'm getting better at learning our profit per acre. I'm not after yield. Larry can attest to this. Said you go to town and everybody's yields are just awesome. That's what they tell you. Is that what it is? I doubt it most of the time.
Well, they probably had spots that did that.
Yeah. Well, we can have spots too, because years ago said we did have 80 bushel wheat on a field, and I told my daughter, said, watch, we can hit 100. Said you pull up, stop real quick, and the yield monitor goes up to 100. Well, we had 100 bushel wheat. Didn't tell you that it was in 10 feet. I mean, I would rather be profitable than having high yield. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I said, no, we can't brag in the coffee shop. That's why I don't go drink coffee. One of my goals with the cows is trying to get the cow size down a little bit, because I'm sure the average of our cows is probably 1375, 1400. I know we got some bigger, we've got some smaller, but that's probably an average, and that's too big. I mean, I think we got them down 1,200, 1,250 pounds. I'd be happy with that. I think they would tear the ground up less. Just my opinion. I mean, I think we're getting there. We're on our way, because the biggest cows, they're getting the age where they're going to go bye-bye and be McDonald's hamburgers, or somebody else's hamburgers.
This as another grazing option, you can rest your pastures.
Yes. And we're starting to see, I've got one pasture that we grazed early this spring, and I just drove by it the other day, and we're starting to get like the big blue stem, some of the other more beneficial grass starting to come in the draws, and they're just starting to creep up the hills a little bit. Said I was kind of excited to see that, because that's what we were always told could happen, but wasn't so sure it was going to. But I think we're getting there. And the other thing we noticed this year, like our pastures specifically, is musk thistle. When I was younger, when Dad was still alive, said that was a 2-week process. You went around all the pastures, chop musk thistle. We haven't done that for 2 or 3 years. Granted, 22 was dry, so nothing grew, but last year we didn't have hardly any. This year we didn't have hardly any. I'm guessing it's because our grass is getting thicker and out competing the thistles.
Have you seen a decrease,
Dramatically.
I've heard a lot this year, foot rot, some pink eye issues.
We've had our share of foot rot this year. Pink eye, not so much. I don't have an answer for foot rot yet. Kid up there at Votech was trying to sell me a different mineral that would take care of it. We'll see. Vaccinations, which a lot has to do with the vet we're using. I mean, he's a very low input. He doesn't push high vaccinations, anything like that. So calves get vaccinated in the spring before I say before turnout, but they're already out grazing. We run them in probably late May, give them it's a one-shot BVD, a Vision 7, and an Enforce 3. So they get the respiratory and that stuff. If we wean them, they'll get another modified live, something like that, with the Enforce 3 and another Vision 7. That's basically it. And we traditionally don't have hardly any sick calves, which the only thing we've weaned the last several years is just our heifers, that either the ones we're keeping as replacements, or last year we kept all our heifers and then picked our replacements later.
You do a lot of fly treatment yet?
No.
Did that decrease too, do you think?
We're doing different things. I mean, I put fly paper around the watering points. I mean, just wrap it around a barrel. We have garlic in the mineral, which helps quite a little. I mean, flies just kind of fluctuate. I mean, there's times you can go out there and they hardly have any flies. The next time they're loaded, but it doesn't really seem to be bothering them. So I took a video of them this year. That's the second time, and since we've gone to this kind of system, that I've seen dung beetles, so I was happy. I even showed my wife, and she was excited. So
I'm glad somebody